Welcome, traveler of the stars. You've arrived at the infinite scientist, where science drifts like a dream across the cosmos. Tonight, we begin at the edge of silence. Before galaxies, before time, before anything could even think to exist. Here, in the soft hush of eternity, we listen to the quiet beginning of everything. If you find beauty in the calm between worlds, let your curiosity rest here. Subscribe and dream with us among the stars. Before there was light, before there was sound, before even the idea of before existed, there was a stillness so complete it could not be measured. It was not darkness, because darkness needs the concept of light to define it. It was not space, because space needs somewhere to expand into. It was simply the absence of everything. Yet within it, the promise of everything waited. Then something changed. Not with a bang or an explosion as we often imagine, but more like a deep and endless breath. A soft exhale of potential that rolled outward in every direction at once. The universe began, not as fire and fury, but as quiet expansion, a whisper of existence stretching itself open. In that first instant, less than a trillionth of a second long, everything that would ever exist was contained in a single, unimaginably small seed, smaller than an atom, yet heavier than all the galaxies combined. It was pure energy, vibrating, flickering, uncertain. The laws of nature, those invisible threads that would one day weave together stars and dreams alike, were still deciding what they wanted to be. And then, the silence moved. The universe unfolded like a thought taking form. Space itself began to stretch, expanding faster than light could travel. What we call the Big Bang was not a sound, but a swelling, a silent bloom of being. Imagine a ripple in a pond. Only the pond is existence itself, and the ripple is everything that has ever been. As the universe expanded, it cooled. Energy began to slow, and from that slowing, particles were born. Tiny points of matter and antimatter flickering in and out of existence, dancing in the newborn dark. Most vanished, cancelling each other out. But a small imbalance, just a few more particles than antiparticles, was enough to seed everything that would ever be. Every star, every planet, every life, every memory within minutes. The first simple elements appeared: hydrogen and helium, light gases, the breath of creation itself. The universe was still too young for light to shine. For hundreds of thousands of years, it remained a soft, glowing fog where matter and radiation were entwined like lovers in a cosmic dream. And then came the first light. When the universe cooled enough, atoms formed, and light, finally, was free to move. The darkness lifted, revealing a gentle afterglow that still hums around us today, faint but eternal. Astronomers call it the cosmic microwave background. It is the oldest light we can see, the first whisper of existence itself, still echoing through space after almost 14 billion years. But what is truly beautiful is this. That light, that soft radiation bathing the cosmos, passes through us every moment. It brushes our skin, enters our eyes, and travels through our atoms. The same atoms born from that first breath of creation. When you close your eyes and feel the warmth of sunlight, you are feeling the distant memory of the universe remembering its own beginning. Slowly, the fog of the early universe began to clear. Matter gathered into clouds, drawn together by gravity's quiet pull. Where density met stillness, the first stars were born. They ignited like thoughts in the dark, brilliant, brief, and boundless. The universe was no longer silent. It was alive with light. These first stars were enormous, burning with fierce intensity. They lived fast and died young, collapsing into supernovae that scattered their elements, carbon, oxygen, iron, into the void. In those ashes, new stars formed, smaller and steadier, surrounded by planets and moons. The cosmic cycle had begun: birth, death, and rebirth, the rhythm that still shapes everything. And somewhere, among the drifting dust and glowing clouds, time began to slow into meaning. Seconds turned into hours, into ages. Galaxies spun like slow whirlpools of light, each one a silent testament to the universe learning to dream. The stars were not random. They followed patterns, laws, invisible music. Physics was the language the cosmos chose to write its story in. Yet beneath the numbers and the theories, there remained something deeper. A serenity, a rhythm too soft for instruments to hear. Every particle still hums with the memory of that first vibration, the faint echo of creation's first breath. The universe remembers. If you were to stand somehow outside of time and watch it all unfold, from that first spark to the slow birth of galaxies, you would not see chaos. You would see beauty. You would see energy becoming order, light becoming life. You would see the quiet beginning of everything, and maybe, in some small way, that same stillness exists inside us. The atoms in your body were once part of that first expansion. The energy that flickers in your mind was once the warmth of that first light. You carry within you the original silence, the same calm that existed before anything else began. When you breathe, you echo the rhythm of creation, expansion and release, birth and return. When you rest, you align with the first peace the cosmos ever knew. The universe began in stillness, and it will one day return to stillness. Between those two silences, everything that exists, from stars to thoughts, is a single, endless moment of wonder. So, as you drift tonight, remember, you are part of the first light. You are the quiet beginning of everything, still unfolding in the soft breath of eternity. Between every star and every planet lies something we call space. We imagine it as nothingness, a vast black emptiness where silence rules. But that's only what it looks like from a distance. The truth is softer, stranger, and infinitely more alive. Space is not a void. It is a sea, and though it seems still, it moves, humming with invisible tides that flow through everything that has ever existed. If you could float between the galaxies, far beyond where any light can guide you, you might think you were drifting through nothing at all. But around you, a faint shimmer would press against your skin, not wind, not air, but energy. Every cubic centimeter of space holds a quiet storm, particles appearing and vanishing, waves of light trembling in and out of existence, fields stretching and folding like sleeping fabric. This is the true nature of the cosmos, not empty, but endlessly active. Physicists call it the quantum vacuum, but that word vacuum hardly fits. It suggests absence when in reality it's full of presence. Even in the coldest regions of interstellar space, where no molecule of gas drifts for light years, there is motion, there are fields, there is fluctuation. The universe is never still. Imagine the surface of an ocean under moonlight, smooth from afar, but rippling endlessly when seen up close. That's what space is like. Quantum energy rises and falls in waves too small for our eyes, too brief for our instruments to hold. Virtual particles appear, live a fleeting heartbeat, and vanish again, like thoughts in a dreaming mind. The space between everything is filled with these thoughts, this endless flicker of becoming and dissolving. Every atom in your body floats upon that field. The chair beneath you, the air around you, even the stars overhead. All of them are sculpted by the unseen tension of this sea. The electromagnetic field, the gravitational field, the Higgs field, these are not out there. They are here, everywhere, invisible but constant, shaping the very texture of reality. When a physicist looks into deep space, they do not see emptiness. They see balance, a delicate equation that keeps everything in harmony. For every burst of energy, there is calm. For every wave, a trough. It's this balance that allows matter to exist, that lets particles dance without tearing the universe apart. It's strange to think that even when you close your eyes and imagine darkness, the darkness itself is alive. Between your thoughts, between your heartbeats, the same quantum sea hums quietly. You are built upon that hum. Your atoms, your neurons, your memories, all resting on a foundation of invisible energy that never sleeps. In the early universe, this sea was restless. Quantum fluctuations rippled across the newborn cosmos, tiny wrinkles that would one day grow into galaxies and stars. What began as a vibration smaller than a subatomic particle became the cosmic web, the vast structure that connects everything across billions of light years. The galaxies are not randomly scattered. They follow the ancient map written by those first trembling ripples. It is infinite patience made real. There's a kind of beauty in that. To know that even emptiness has structure, that silence has music hidden beneath it. It reminds us that stillness does not mean absence. Stillness means balance. The same way your breath flows quietly when you sleep, space breathes in perfect equilibrium, expanding, contracting, humming at peace every time a star explodes. The energy ripples outward, disturbing the sea. For billions of years, those ripples fade and merge, smoothing back into silence. The universe heals itself slowly. It absorbs everything. Even chaos eventually becomes calm again. If we could see space for what it truly is, it wouldn't look black. It would shimmer faintly with light. Not bright like stars, but soft, like the glow inside a seashell. Waves of invisible energy overlapping, crossing, whispering to each other across eternity. And we are part of that whisper. When we look up at the night sky and think we see nothing between the stars, what we're really seeing is the body of the cosmos itself, the quiet field that holds everything in its embrace. Every photon, every particle, every vibration floats inside that embrace, balanced by invisible forces that never cease their gentle work. Perhaps that is why space feels peaceful to us. Even though it's cold, vast, and beyond our reach, there's something soothing in its constancy. It's a reminder that silence doesn't mean nothingness. It means everything resting in perfect harmony. So, when you close your eyes tonight and imagine yourself drifting between the stars, remember this: you are not floating through emptiness. You are floating through the most subtle, intricate ocean imaginable, an ocean made of energy, rhythm, and quiet grace. Even when nothing seems to move, the whole universe breathes beneath you. You are held in that breath. You are part of that balance. The space that isn't empty is the silence that sings softly. The background note of all existence, the eternal hum that holds the stars in place and cradles every dream in its invisible arm. Long before your eyes ever opened, light was already on its way. It began its journey billions of years ago, a flicker born from the heart of a dying star, carrying with it the memory of a moment long gone. Tonight, when you gaze into the night sky and see a distant shimmer, what you truly see is the past. A soft echo of time still traveling across the dark to find you. Light is patient. It never hurries. It moves with the same grace that dreams do, and at the speed of meaning itself. In the vacuum between galaxies, it glides unbothered, untouchable, silent. Each photon that enters your eyes tonight may have left its home before our world even existed. It has crossed the ages, weaving through clouds of cosmic dust, brushing the edges of gravity wells, bent gently by the invisible hands of space and time. When you see the Milky Way stretching across the heavens, it isn't just a picture of where stars are, it's a portrait of where they were. Every spark is a ghost of its former self, a message delayed by the vast distances light must travel. Even our own sun, so close and warm, greets us with a light that is already old, 8 minutes old to be exact. By the time sunlight touches your skin, the moment it began has already passed. To look at the universe is to look into memory. The night sky is an archive of ancient light, billions of years deep. Some of the faint red glows we detect are not even stars anymore. They are the after-images of galaxies, long faded or transformed. We live inside a museum of starlight, and every glance upward is a quiet act of time travel. But what is light, really? It is both wave and particle, both rhythm and pulse. It is the boundary between energy and information, the bridge that lets the universe see itself. Light carries knowledge about distance, temperature, and motion, written in wavelengths too small for the human eye to fully grasp. Every photon tells a story. Some are bright and youthful, streaming from young stars just born. Others are ancient, their energy stretched thin by the expansion of space, whispering softly from the edges of the observable universe. When the Big Bang faded, its last glow remained, not in fire, but in light. The cosmic microwave background, a faint afterglow that still fills the entire sky, is that ancient echo. Every inch of the heavens hums with it, a soft radiance that has cooled for nearly 14 billion years. Even now, that light moves through you, invisible, silent, yet eternal. If you could see all wavelengths of light, not just the narrow band your eyes perceive, the universe would not look dark at all. It would glow endlessly, what in infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, radio waves. Space itself would shimmer like an ocean seen under moonlight, alive with the quiet motion of energy. The darkness you see is not absence, only limitation, but a curtain drawn across the full spectrum of being. Light has no mass, no rest, no shape to contain it. And yet it builds everything we know. It defines color, warmth, direction, life itself. On Earth, every leaf, every breath, every heartbeat depends on the silent arrival of photons. The dance of photosynthesis, that delicate translation of sunlight into sugar, into energy, into growth, is the quiet thread connecting stars to cells, galaxies to gardens. You are in a very real way made of light, slowed down and folded into matter. And light does more than build. It reveals. Without it, there would be no shadow, no form, no way for the universe to look upon itself. When you stand in the dark and a beam of starlight touches your face, you and the cosmos meet. The observer and the observed, becoming one brief reflection of the same infinite story. Sometimes I imagine what a single photon must feel as it travels. It begins in the chaos of fusion flung from the heart of a sun. It passes through storms of plasma, through magnetic fields, through ages and distances beyond measure. To that photon, the entire trip is instantaneous. Time doesn't exist at the speed of light. From its point of view, it leaves and arrives in the same breath. That means, in some strange way, the light we see from the beginning of the universe is still arriving in its own eternal now. Every sunrise on Earth is a soft replay of this cosmic patience. The first light of dawn is not just a change in color. It's a memory arriving anew. The warmth that spills across oceans and mountains has traveled through empty space, carrying with it the quiet persistence of existence itself. There's something deeply comforting about that. To know that light never truly dies, it only changes form. When it strikes a leaf, it becomes life. When it hits your skin, it becomes warmth. When it enters your eyes, it becomes memory. It transforms, but it never ceases to be. Even the faintest star in the farthest galaxy is still sending its voice into the dark, hoping that somewhere, some mind, some heart might listen. And we do. We look up and we listen. Perhaps that's why light feels so sacred to us. It represents connection, a thread that ties every point in the universe together through time. It tells us that no distance is truly empty, that everything seen and unseen is woven together by invisible travel. Tonight, when you close your eyes, imagine that you are floating within that ocean of light. Every photon that has ever existed flowing around you like warm current. Imagine it brushing softly against your skin, filling the dark behind your eyelids with quiet gold. That glow has been traveling for ages to find you. The light that took its time is not just starlight, it is the patient voice of creation itself, whispering across eternity, reminding you that even in the deepest dark, something is always on its way home. Before there were people, before there were planets, there were only stars. Great, blazing hearts suspended in the darkness, dreaming of what might come after them. Each one was a furnace of possibility, a place where simple atoms were pressed together until they became something new. Every breath of hydrogen, every flicker of helium was the beginning of a long chain that would one day lead to us. It's hard to imagine now, under the quiet of a night sky, that everything you are, every cell, every molecule, was once part of a star's slow-burning fire. But it's true. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your breath, all were born in the violent hearts of ancient suns. You are the echo of stellar life, the continuation of a story written in fire. When a star lives, it spends its existence in balance. Gravity pulls inward, light pushes outward. It is a delicate conversation between pressure and radiance. For millions, sometimes billions of years, that balance holds. Inside its core, nuclei fuse and transform. Hydrogen becomes helium, helium becomes carbon, carbon becomes heavier still. With every step, the star grows older, more complex, more unstable, and then, one day, it dies. But not quietly. Massive stars end in a single breathtaking act. A supernova. In a fraction of a second, all that balance collapses. The core implodes, the outer layers explode, and light brighter than an entire galaxy floods the dark. For a brief instant, the universe remembers its own birth, energy, chaos, creation, all at once. And from that chaos, the building blocks of everything familiar are born. Those elements, iron, oxygen, silicon, gold, are flung into the void. They drift for millions of years, carried by cosmic winds, mixing with dust and gas, until gravity gathers them again. A new star forms. The universe began simple, just a sea of basic elements. Complexity came later, sculpted by the persistence of light and the patience of time. If not for the death of stars, there would be no color, no chemistry, no consciousness. Think of it this way. Each time you touch the Earth, you're touching something that once burned in a stellar core. The ground beneath your feet is a relic of cosmic alchemy. The air in your lungs has been recycled through countless generations of stars. The water that moves through your veins is ancient, older than any planet, older than the sun. In the quiet spaces between galaxies, dust clouds still float, the ashes of long-dead suns. To us, they look empty, but within them new stories are waiting. Over millions of years, gravity will gather those ashes, compressing them until new stars ignite, until new worlds are born. It is an endless cycle: creation, transformation, release. The universe burns, rests, and burns again. Sometimes I imagine what it must be like to be a star, to live for eons in silence, to shine without ever seeing your own light, to know that your final act, your destruction, will give birth to others. There's something deeply compassionate in that, a kind of cosmic generosity. Every explosion is an offering. Every death a beginning. Our sun will one day join that cycle. Not in a dramatic supernova, but in a gentler transformation. When it runs out of fuel, it will expand, shedding its outer layers into the void, creating a cloud of glowing gas, a planetary nebula. Its light will fade, but its materials will scatter, perhaps one day joining another world's story. Even our star will give something back. When you look up at the night sky, you're not just seeing points of light. You're seeing time, ancestry, and inheritance. Every star you see has already contributed to the creation of life somewhere, or will someday do so. The sky is not filled with strangers. It's filled with family. The atoms in your heart once lived in the core of an ancient sun. The calcium in your teeth once spun through space after a stellar explosion. The nitrogen in your DNA once flowed through the gas of a collapsing nebula. You are, in every way, the continuation of that process, a momentary arrangement of the universe's oldest materials. And though stars burn far away, you still carry their heat. That faint warmth you feel when you think about meaning, when you look up at the stars and feel both small and infinite, that's not imagination, it's memory. Somewhere deep within you, the atoms remember the fusion that made them. They remember the pressure, the light, the release. That memory hums in every living thing. The trees that stretch towards sunlight, the oceans that shimmer beneath it, the hearts that beat because of it, all are participating in the same exchange of energy that began billions of years ago. The story of the stars didn't end when they died. It continues through everything that breathes, everything that shines, and maybe that's what makes us human. Not that we exist, but that we remember existing. That the star's memory has found a way to think about itself. In a strange, quiet way, the universe has become self-aware through us. The dust, learning to look back at the light that made it. So tonight, when you stand beneath the sky and feel its vastness pressing gently on your thoughts, know that it isn't distant. You are not beneath the stars, only you are among them. Their light is inside you. Their fire is your inheritance. Their silence is the same silence that lives between your breaths. The stars that burned to become us did not vanish. They changed shape. They became the eyes that look upon them, the minds that wonder, the hearts that remember warmth in the cold. You are their continuation, the living breath of ancient fire, the quiet echo of the cosmos learning to love its own light. There is a kind of silence in space that words cannot hold. Not emptiness, not absence, but a deep and patient quiet. Between every planet, every moon, every drifting fragment of rock, there stretches a vast distance where sound cannot travel, where time itself feels slower, softer, almost asleep. Planets move through this stillness like dancers that never meet. Each one follows its own invisible path, bound by gravity's gentle pull, yet separated by oceans of darkness. They orbit their stars with unwavering loyalty, circling endlessly, never touching, never speaking. And though they move in perfect rhythm, they do so in solitude, a cosmic ballet where every dancer spins alone. Imagine, for a moment, being one of them, a cold sphere drifting through the black, your only warmth the faint light of a distant sun. The days pass without witness, the nights without sound. There are no voices, no footsteps, only the endless hum of radiation and dust. Yet even in that loneliness there is grace, a quiet devotion to motion, to purpose, to the slow unfolding of cosmic time. Our own Earth is part of that silent waltz. It circles the sun at 93 million miles away, held by the same invisible thread that guides all planets. We seldom think of how alone our world truly is. Floating through space, shielded by nothing but its thin atmosphere, surrounded by emptiness that stretches beyond imagination. And yet within that fragile bubble, life blooms, forests, oceans, hearts, minds, all thriving against the infinite night. Strange and beautiful, the universe appears cold, yet within its loneliness warmth found a home. Other worlds wander out there too, billions of them. Some are frozen, others aflame. Some spin in lightless orbits around dead stars. Some perhaps cradle oceans and winds and the faint beginnings of life. But most will never know company. They will turn in silence for billions of years, unseen, unknown, waiting for nothing in particular. Astronomers call them exoplanets, distant spheres circling suns far beyond our reach. We've found more than 5,000 so far, each one a secret. Some are enormous and storm-racked, others small and barren. A few orbit in the so-called habitable zone, where light and temperature might allow for liquid water, the gentle chemistry of life. But even those likely drift without voices, their skies untouched by thought. If the cosmos has one great truth, it may be this: existence is shared, but rarely together. Everything belongs, but nothing crowds. Stars burn, planets turn, galaxies spin, all moving in harmony, yet apart. The loneliness between worlds is not a flaw. It is the architecture of the universe. Distance is what allows light to travel, what gives gravity meaning, what gives time its rhythm. Sometimes I wonder if planets feel their isolation, but not as sadness, but as awareness. Each one holds its own quiet memory of creation. Each has felt the touch of starlight, the pull of moons, the breath of passing comets. Each has been sculpted by forces that care nothing for company, yet leave behind beauty all the same. Mountain ranges of ice, deserts of glass, oceans beneath frozen crusts. The universe may be lonely, but it is never empty of wonder. Look at Saturn, wrapped in its shimmering rings. Frozen dust and shattered moons caught in endless orbit. Look at Mars, silent and red, its dry valleys once carved by flowing water. Look at Europa, Jupiter's moon, where beneath a crust of ice, a hidden ocean churns in darkness. These places do not speak, yet they tell stories older than any life we know. And then there are the worlds between worlds, the rogue planets, untethered to any star, drifting endlessly through the black. They wander alone, lit only by faint starlight from galaxies far away. They are cosmic nomads, reminders that not all orbits find homes. Some exist simply to move, to travel, to be. In that way, perhaps they are not so different from us. Humanity, too, drifts through a kind of cosmic solitude. We reach out through radio waves and telescopes, whispering into the dark, hoping for an answer. For a century we've been sending signals, pulses of math and music, coded messages of curiosity and longing, but so far the silence has remained. Maybe the quiet is not rejection, but peace. Maybe the universe is listening, just not in ways we understand. Perhaps every flicker of starlight that touches Earth is an unspoken reply, a soft reminder that we are already connected through the very fabric of existence. Loneliness, after all, is only one way of seeing distance. From another angle, it becomes intimacy. The intimacy of knowing that everything moves together, even if far apart. Gravity links every atom, every moon, every galaxy. Nothing truly drifts alone. It only appears to. The space between is what allows the connection to exist. When you look up at the night sky, remember, each point of light is not just a star, but a system of worlds, entire families spinning quietly in the dark. You are surrounded by countless planets, invisible to the naked eye, but real nonetheless. Some of them might have oceans, some might have wind, some might even have eyes looking back, wondering the same thing. Are we alone? That question is not born of fear, but of recognition. It's the spark of empathy written into the universe itself, the echo of one lonely world calling out to another. And maybe, just maybe, that is enough. Because even if we never find another voice among the stars, the act of wondering connects us. It's the bridge between isolation and meaning, a reminder that within the silence, we are capable of imagining companionship. The universe may not answer in words, but it responds in beauty, the glow of nebulae, the whisper of cosmic radiation. At the center of almost every galaxy there waits a shadow, vast, silent, and patient. It has no surface, no shape, no color. It cannot be seen directly, yet its presence is written into the motion of everything around it. Stars whirl faster the closer they come, gas clouds twist into luminous spirals, and light itself bends toward an invisible point. That point is a black hole, the hidden heart of darkness. Despite the name, a black hole is not a hole at all. It is a place where gravity has gone too far, where matter has been compressed into a single, infinitely dense point called a singularity. Around it lies the event horizon, the boundary from which nothing, not even light, can escape. It is the final hush of physics, the quiet end of everything we know. Yet there is something strangely gentle about their nature. They do not chase or devour. They simply are, waiting at the center of motion, shaping the galaxy with their silent weight. Around them, stars bloom and die, drawn into their gravity like moths circling a lamp that never burns out. The one at the heart of our own Milky Way is called Sagittarius A. It sits 26,000 light-years away, hidden behind veils of dust and light. For most of human history, it was only a theory, a rumor whispered by equations. But in 2019, humanity saw it for the first time, a glowing ring surrounding a dark core, a photograph of silence itself. The light we saw wasn't the black hole, but the gas swirling around it, heated to millions of degrees, shining one last time before falling into eternity. There's something almost sacred about that image, not terrifying but humbling. It's a reminder that even in destruction there is beauty. Even in the heart of darkness, light still circles, defiant and brief. Black holes are not just cosmic void, they are memory keepers. Every bit of matter that falls inside leaves a mark, an imprint on the event horizon. The information may be scrambled, unrecognizable, but never lost entirely. Physicists like Stephen Hawking called it the information paradox, the puzzle of whether the universe ever truly forgets. Perhaps even the dark remembers. Imagine a star nearing the end of its life. For billions of years it has burned quietly, fusing hydrogen into helium, holding its shape against the inward crush of gravity. But when its fuel runs out, the balance breaks. The core collapses inward, the outer layers explode outward in a flash, brighter than an entire galaxy. A supernova. What remains is a fragment so dense that even light cannot escape. From the death of brilliance comes the birth of shadow, and yet that shadow shapes the universe. Without black holes, galaxies might never have formed as they did. Their immense gravity gathers dust, gas, and stars, holding them in elegant spirals. The dark heart gives structure to the light around it. What seems like emptiness is actually order. An invisible architect sculpting the cosmos through silence. Even time itself behaves differently near a black hole. To an observer far away, a falling object appears to slow down, moving ever slower as it approaches the event horizon, never quite crossing it. But for the object itself, time continues normally, and the crossing happens in an instant. To stand near such a place would be to feel time stretch and bend, to watch seconds dissolve into infinity. It is the edge of experience, where physics turns poetic. Perhaps the most haunting truth about black holes is how they mirror our own questions about existence. What lies beyond that horizon? Is it an end or merely a transformation? Some theories suggest that every black hole could be a doorway, a tunnel to another universe, or the seed of a new one. In that view, each collapse is also a creation, each death a beginning. The universe breathes through its own paradox. When you look at the night sky, you are seeing light that has traveled across billions of years. And somewhere, among those glowing galaxies, black holes sit quietly, unseen, holding it all together. The stars orbit them like thoughts around a center of stillness. Perhaps consciousness is not so different, awareness orbiting a quiet core we can never quite describe. The mind has its own event horizons, moments, memories, emotions we cannot return from once crossed. And maybe that is not tragedy, but balance. Just as black holes remind us that light cannot exist without shadow, our inner silence gives meaning to our brightest moments. We learn, we love, we fall, we fade, and through each ending, something unseen is created. The cosmos teaches in metaphors, written in matter and motion. When we send our instruments to peer deeper into the universe, we are really peering deeper into ourselves. The same equations that describe a collapsing star also describe the gravity that keeps our feet on the ground. The same space that bends around a black hole also bends around us subtly, invisibly. We live in the same fabric, woven from the same threads. It is strange then that the most powerful objects in the universe are also the most silent. They do not announce themselves, do not demand attention. Their existence is known only through their influence, through the way they make others move. Perhaps that is the truest kind of power, the kind that shapes everything without ever being seen. Black holes will outlive everything. Long after the last star burns out, after galaxies fade and time stretches into cold eternity, they will remain, slowly evaporating through Hawking radiation, whispering their final warmth into the void. When they too are gone, the universe will fall silent once more, as it was in the beginning. But even that silence will not be emptiness. It will be completion, the final exhale of existence, the closing breath of cosmic time. The hidden hearts of darkness will have done their work. They will have held galaxies, birthed stars, and taught us the shape of stillness. And when the universe finally sleeps, it will dream in their memory of light, of gravity, of the beautiful, quiet balance between what is seen and what is never meant to be. Between the galaxies, between every atom, between every fleeting thought, there is a silence so vast it seems empty. Yet nothing in the universe is truly empty. Even in the most distant corners of space where starlight has never wandered, the vacuum breathes. It hums softly with the pulse of creation. Invisible, eternal, alive. We tend to imagine space as nothingness, as the absence of everything. But this nothing is one of the most active and mysterious things that exist. The vacuum is a sea of invisible motion, filled with quantum fields that ripple even when no particles are present. These ripples, tiny fluctuations of energy, are the breath of the universe itself. They rise and fall endlessly, giving birth to particles that blink into being and vanish before we can name them. Physicists call it quantum foam, but that phrase hardly captures the poetry of it. Imagine an infinite ocean in complete darkness, every wave a whisper, every ripple a possibility. Even when it looks still beneath the surface, something moves. That motion is what keeps reality alive. It is from this invisible dance that everything we know emerges. Every atom, every photon, every heartbeat began as a vibration in that silent field. The Big Bang was not the start of something from nothing. It was a shimmer within this endless sea, a fluctuation that grew, expanded, and sang itself into galaxies. What we call empty space is the raw fabric of existence, always alive with potential. The vacuum's breath is delicate, but powerful beyond measure. If we could somehow remove all particles, all light, all matter, and be left with true emptiness, we would still find a background energy of the so-called zero-point energy. It is so immense that even a single cubic centimeter of space holds more energy than all the stars in the visible sky combined. The universe hides its strength in silence. This invisible energy has strange consequences. It pushes galaxies apart, stretching the very fabric of space-time. We call it dark energy, a mysterious force driving the accelerated expansion of the cosmos. It acts everywhere, evenly, quietly, without drama. The same stillness that exists between stars also flows through your hands, your breath, your thoughts. The vacuum doesn't just surround us, it connects us. When you sit quietly and listen to your own breathing, you are, in some small way, echoing that universal rhythm. Every inhale expands your world. Every exhale softens it. The vacuum expands and contracts too, a slow cosmic breath unfolding over billions of years. Perhaps that is why stillness feels sacred, because deep down it mirrors the structure of existence itself. On a subatomic level, the breath of space never stops. Virtual particles constantly appear and disappear, borrowing energy from nothing and giving it back again. These ephemeral flickers sustain the universe's quiet balance, like the rise and fall of waves that never cease. It's this jittering ocean that gives the vacuum its hum, faint, eternal, and everywhere, even the light that reaches your eyes, the particles that make your body, and the forces that hold your atoms together are all expressions of these quantum fields. You are made from the same silence that fills the cosmos. Every thought you have, every moment of awareness, every heartbeat is a wave passing through the same field that breathes between galaxies. When we think of space, we often imagine loneliness, a vast cold emptiness stretching forever. But what if it is not loneliness at all? What if it is the deepest kind of presence? The vacuum does not need form or sound or light to exist. It is existence, the backdrop upon which everything else unfolds. It is the pause between notes that makes the music of reality possible. Consider this. When you look up at the stars, most of what you see is darkness. Yet that darkness is not absence. It is the very medium through which light travels. Without it, the stars would have no stage on which to shine. The breath of empty space is what gives contrast to creation, what allows motion, distance, and time to have meaning. The ancient poets spoke of ether, a mystical substance that filled the heavens. In a way, they weren't wrong. They were sensing what modern physics now describes in equations and fields, that space is not void but living structure, a field so subtle that it feels like nothing, and yet so fundamental that it shapes everything. Quantum physics shows us that emptiness is teeming with life, not biological life, but energetic potential. Every possibility that could ever exist flickers there, waiting for the right conditions to awaken. It is a cosmic womb, infinite and unseen, nurturing the future in silence. Even the cosmic microwave background, or indeed the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, moves gently through this ocean of nothingness. The photons that left the dawn of time still travel through this living void, cooled and stretched by its quiet expansion. The vacuum is both cradle and caretaker, holding the memory of everything that has ever been, and so, when we speak of nothing, we are really speaking of the deepest something, a presence so vast we mistake it for absence. It is the hum beneath every atom, the pause that allows motion, the stillness that gives birth to sound. The breath of empty space is the universe's heartbeat, slow, silent, eternal. Perhaps that is why meditation, silence, and stillness draw us inward. In those moments, we align ourselves with the natural rhythm of existence. We become attuned to that cosmic breath, feeling it rise and fall within our own. What feels like quietness is not emptiness. It's participation in the same eternal stillness that holds galaxies together. And maybe, when the last star fades and the universe grows dark again, it won't be death that remains, but the breath, the quiet hum that never stopped, the space that remembers, the silence that still moves, softly, unseen, between everything, because even at the edge of forever, the universe will still breathe. In the stillness between galaxies, where light stretches thin and stars drift like forgotten embers, there is a quiet force that binds everything together. It does not shine or speak or burn. It simply holds. Gravity, the universe's oldest language, the invisible hand that gathers everything into meaning. If you could see it, it would look like threads of glass woven through darkness, connecting stars, planets, and dust in a vast, trembling web. Every particle in the cosmos, from the smallest grain of dust to the most massive galaxy cluster, is entangled in its pull. Even when everything seems still, gravity is there, whispering, balancing, guiding. It is the soft rhythm beneath creation's noise, the slow heartbeat that keeps eternity from unraveling. Gravity is not a force that pushes or pulls in the way we imagine. It is a bending, a shaping of the fabric of space-time itself. Einstein revealed this strange truth, that mass tells space how to curve, and space tells matter how to move. What feels like attraction is really geometry. The cosmos folding gently around the presence of things. Picture a lone planet orbiting its sun. It doesn't fall inward or fly away. It dances in perfect balance, curved by the invisible hand of space itself. That curve, that arc of motion, is the grace of gravity. It is not violence, but harmony, a constant, patient reminder that even emptiness can hold structure. We are surrounded by it always. Every breath we take is shaped by gravity. It pulls the air into our lungs, holds oceans to the earth, cradles the moon in its orbit. Without it, there would be no stars to light the sky, no worlds to hold our weight, no time to measure. It gives the cosmos its spine, the unseen stillness that keeps everything from drifting apart. Yet gravity is also a mystery. Of the four fundamental forces that govern the universe, it is by far the weakest, and yet it rules the largest scales of existence. It binds galaxies, forms planets, and orchestrates the architecture of space-time itself. We feel its presence every moment, but we do not truly understand it. Some physicists believe gravity might emerge from something deeper, a reflection of information, a kind of cosmic memory woven into space. Others imagine it as the echo of quantum entanglement on a grand scale, the collective whisper of particles remembering their connection. If that is true, then gravity is not just physical. It is relational. It is the universe remembering itself. A field of connection that reminds every atom it belongs to the same whole. Look up on a clear night. The stars seem still, suspended like jewels, but they are all moving, spinning, circling, drawn together by unseen hands. Each one hums with a quiet devotion to the others. Even galaxies, those colossal spirals of light, are caught in invisible embraces, swirling toward one another across millions of light years. One day, our Milky Way will meet Andromeda, not in collision, but in union, gravity's slow choreography, bringing them together in a new, brighter shape. It is easy to think of gravity as law, as calculation. Newton's apple falling, Einstein's curvature drawn in chalk. But in truth, it feels more like emotion. It is the love story of the cosmos, the way everything holds everything else, even across the cold distances of time. It is what keeps planets faithful to their stars, moons circling patiently in lightless nights, comets returning after centuries just to pass once more through the warmth of home. When we fall, we feel gravity as weight, as limitation. But on a cosmic scale, it is something else entirely, not heaviness, but unity. It is what keeps existence coherent, what makes form possible in the endless sea of potential. If energy is the breath of the universe, then gravity is its embrace, the quiet promise that nothing will ever drift too far to be remembered. Even light, the fastest thing in existence, cannot ignore it. Around massive stars and black holes, light bends, curving like silk around the shape of gravity's hand. This bending allows us to see galaxies behind galaxies, the universe folding in on itself in luminous reflection. We call it gravitational lensing, but it is, in essence, a reminder that space is alive, pliable, responsive, tender. And perhaps deep within us, gravity moves in smaller, quieter ways. The heart feels its own pull toward others, toward warmth, connection, meaning. We orbit the people we love, drawn into their gravity, held by invisible threads of emotion and memory. Every longing, every act of kindness, every gentle silence between two souls mirrors the universe's deeper pattern: attraction, balance, belonging. In this way, gravity teaches us something profound. It shows us that separation is an illusion. Everything we see, every drifting star, every quiet world, every human heartbeat is part of one great curve. We are all caught in the same fabric, shaped by the same invisible pull. The universe is not a collection of things, but a single unfolding motion. And maybe that is why gravity feels like stillness. It is not frantic or loud. It does not demand attention. It works slowly, endlessly, with patience only eternity could understand. It doesn't force, it allows. It doesn't control, it connects. Its silence is not emptiness. It's devotion without need for words. If you listen carefully, you can almost sense it now, and not as a sound, but as a feeling, the steady weight of being held, of belonging to something vast and unseen. Gravity does not let us fall into nothing. It draws us closer to meaning. One day, far in the future, gravity will write the universe's final chapter. As stars die and galaxies fade, as matter cools and time stretches thin, everything will begin to drift inward again. The great expansion will slow. The breath of the cosmos will turn into an inhale. Perhaps it will collapse, perhaps it will rest, perhaps it will dream once more. But whatever comes, gravity will be there, not as an ending, but as the stillness that keeps the silence whole. Because, in the end, gravity is not destruction. It is the quiet promise of return, the unseen bond that keeps light and darkness in conversation, the patient reminder that even across infinite distance, nothing, not even a single atom, ever truly stands alone. There is a music in the stars, not one that the ear can hear, but one the soul can feel. A rhythm older than words, woven into the silent fabric of space. Every star, every atom, every flicker of light is part of that grand symphony. It hums through the universe like a pulse, soft, endless, and alive. If you could listen, truly listen, you would find that the cosmos sings in frequencies too deep and too vast for sound. The sun itself hums with vibrations rippling through its fiery skin, trembling waves of plasma rising and falling in cosmic breath. Astronomers translate these vibrations into notes, faint, low tones that echo across time. The stars in their solitude are not silent at all. They are orchestras of fire and light. Each star has its own melody. Massive blue stars thrum with deep bass tones, while smaller red dwarfs hum at higher pitches, like a whispering violin in the dark. When a star dies, its song changes, with that collapsing into a haunting silence or exploding into a final, brilliant crescendo. Supernovas are the symphony's climaxes, the universe striking its most powerful chord, scattering elements that will one day breathe as life. Somewhere between those tones is the music of our own sun, gentle, patient, like a lullaby for the solar system. Its light ripples across the void. The earth listens, oceans shimmering, winds moving, forests swaying in time. Every dawn is an echo of that solar harmony. If you've ever stood in the quiet of early morning and felt something stirring in the air, a feeling that the world itself is waking, stretching, humming softly to itself, that is the same music. The same ancient pulse that moves through the stars, flows through the sap of trees, the tides of the sea, and the breath in your lungs. Long ago, philosophers and mystics spoke of the music of the spheres, believing the planets made sound as they moved through the heavens. They imagined cosmic harmony, an invisible song connecting all motion and matter. Today, we know there is no sound in space, no air for it to travel through. But in truth, they were not wrong. The music was never meant for ears. It is the vibration of existence itself, a silent resonance between all things. When a galaxy spins, its spiral arms trace invisible patterns like notes written across the staff of space-time. The stars within it are not chaotic. They move in rhythm, balanced by gravity, guided by unseen harmony. Even black holes, those devourers of light, sing. Their gravitational waves ripple through space like the bass line of creation. Slow, deep, almost too vast to comprehend. In 2015, humanity first heard the faint hum of those waves, two black holes colliding in a distant corner of the universe. The sound, converted into audible tones, was a chirp, brief and delicate, lasting less than a second. Yet in that sound was the echo of 1 billion years. Two titanic beings merging, space itself trembling with joy or sorrow, or something beyond both. It was as if the universe had taken a breath and let it out as music. Every human heartbeat is tuned to that same pulse. The rhythm of your blood, the gentle sway of your breath, the cycles of sleep and waking, all are tiny mirrors of cosmic time. We are not outside the orchestra. We are instruments within it. The atoms that form your hands were once scattered by dying stars, flung into the dark to one day rise again in another melody. You are made of starlight, which means you are made of music. When you sit in silence, listening to the soft hum of your own existence, you are hearing the same vibration that hums in distant suns. The quiet between thoughts, the stillness before dreams, that is the space where the cosmic song can be felt most clearly. It does not demand attention. It waits, patient, eternal. Perhaps consciousness itself is the way the universe hears its own song, the echo of awareness resonating through matter. The mind, like an instrument, tunes itself to the frequency of being. Each thought, each feeling, each memory is a chord struck between what is and what could be. The universe listens through us. Imagine drifting far beyond the solar system, beyond the last lonely outpost of light, into the interstellar dark. There, amid the cold silence, the music is still there, faint, vast, immeasurable. You could float for 1,000 lifetimes and never escape it. It surrounds everything, connects everything. Even in the emptiest vacuum, the quantum fields shimmer, vibrating with zero-point energy. The quiet hum of creation still ongoing. If light is the universe's sight, then vibration is its voice. Every interaction, every quantum flicker, every wave of gravity is a form of song. And like all great symphonies, it has crescendos and pauses, harmony and dissonance, tension and release. The stars are born, shine, die, and are born again. And in that cycle, the music renews itself endlessly. There is comfort in knowing that. It means nothing is ever truly lost, not even silence. The light from a long dead star still travels, its music still echoing through the void. Somewhere in a corner of space, the note of that light continues to vibrate, unchanged. Every photon is a messenger carrying a song from the past. So tonight, as you listen to the soft hum of your room, to your breathing, to the stillness that surrounds you, imagine that beyond your walls, the entire cosmos is singing. A lullaby of stars, a choir of galaxies, a whisper of black holes. The same song that has been playing since time began and will play long after time forgets itself. Let that thought cradle you. Let it remind you that you are not alone and that your quiet is part of something immeasurably vast. The music of distant suns flows through you, gentle, patient, endless, and in that thought perhaps the universe listens back. Far beyond the warmth of the sun, where light fades to silver and shadow, the moons of distant worlds lie in quiet sleep. They drift like ancient thoughts circling their giants, small, cold, and glimmering with secrets. At first glance they seem lifeless, frozen, desolate, forgotten by time. But beneath their icy shells something moves, something breathes, something dreams. Take Europa, one of Jupiter's silent companion. From afar, it appears as a smooth, pale sphere, a frozen eye staring endlessly into space. But beneath its glassy surface lies an ocean larger than all of Earth's seas combined, an ocean that has never seen the sky. Beneath that shield of ice, darkness reigns. But it is not empty darkness. It is the kind that hums softly with possibility. Imagine being there, deep beneath Europa's crust. The water is black, but it glows faintly with ghostly light, born from heat rising from the moon's core. Plumes of vapor rise like the breath of some sleeping creature. The temperature is cold enough to freeze steel, yet the ocean moves, stirred by tides, pulled by Jupiter's immense gravity. The ice creaks above like the ceiling of a cathedral, shifting in long, slow sighs. We cannot see it, but scientists believe hydrothermal vents may lie at the bottom of that alien sea, spewing minerals and warmth just as they do on Earth's ocean floor. Around those vents on our planet, life thrives. Blind, beautiful creatures that live without sunlight, feeding on chemistry instead of light. If such vents exist beneath Europa's crust, could life also be there, not as we know it, but as something entirely new? Perhaps entire ecosystems drift in that eternal twilight, unseen and unknowable, like a dream the universe forgot to wake from. Further out still, another moon sings a similar song. Enceladus, orbiting Saturn. Tiny, brilliant, its icy surface reflects sunlight like powdered diamond. For centuries it appeared still and silent, until a probe flying past caught sight of something miraculous, geysers shooting plumes of vapor and ice hundreds of miles into space. They burst through cracks at the moon's south pole, marking places where the ocean below breathes through the surface. In those frozen jets, scientists found water, salt, and organic molecules, the ingredients of life. Enceladus, it seems, hides an ocean too, and in its depths, chemistry stirs like an ancient memory. Each plume is like an exhale from the dream below, carrying whispers of a hidden world. When the sunlight hits those plumes, they glitter faintly, like the moon sighing light into the void. These are not isolated wonders. Across our solar system, icy moons may be more alive than the barren rocks we once thought them to be. Titan, Saturn's largest moon, has rivers, not of water, but of liquid methane and ethane flowing under a hazy orange sky. Triton, Neptune's captured moon, exhales plumes of frozen nitrogen. Even Pluto, at the edge of sunlight's reach, shows signs of an active, changing surface, as if life's dream never truly ends, only transforms. When we think of life, we think of warmth, of sunlight, of Earth's blue oceans. But perhaps life is more resilient, more imaginative than we ever dared to believe. Perhaps the universe's story is written not in heat, but in endurance, in the quiet persistence of chemistry beneath the ice. Maybe the moons dream because life itself is dreaming within them. There is something profoundly poetic about oceans that have never seen the stars. They exist in complete darkness, untouched by day or night. Their waves rise and fall to the rhythm of gravity, not wind. No sound, no light, only motion, soft, steady, eternal. If you could descend there, wrapped in silence, you might feel something sacred and as if standing at the edge of creation's memory. Somewhere, perhaps tiny beings drift near the vents, translucent, fragile, unaware that their world is just one of countless others. To them, the surface above might be myth, the stars unimaginable. Yet in their quiet motion, in their chemistry, they are part of the same cosmic song as us. They are the universe exploring itself, slowly, patiently, through the language of molecules and tides. The idea that oceans sleep beneath ice changes everything we thought we knew about existence. It means the conditions for life might not be rare at all, that even in the coldest places warmth can be found in hidden forms. The universe may not be a barren void, but a cradle filled with unseen possibilities, each waiting for the right moment to awaken. When the sunlight catches Europa's surface, faint reflections ripple across its frozen plains. Cracks run like veins across the ice. Traces of movement beneath. It almost looks alive, like something shifting in slow motion, breathing over millennia. You could imagine the moon dreaming, not in words, but in pressure, motion, and soundless rhythm. The dream of life waiting for a whisper of heat, a flicker of chance. Humanity watches from afar, our probes drifting through the dark, listening. We have sent machines to touch these worlds, to taste their vapors, to listen to their silence. Yet even our instruments, advanced as they are, can only brush the surface of. Perhaps one day humans will dive beneath those frozen seas. We will glide through alien darkness and see light shimmering where no sun shines. We will look upon creatures shaped by eons of isolation and feel both awe and familiarity, as if looking into the face of something ancient, something we have always known. For now, we can only imagine. But imagination too is a kind of exploration, a way of touching what lies beyond our reach. In every dream of discovery, there is a reflection of the cosmos dreaming through us. And so, the moons continue to circle. Slow, quiet, unblinking. Beneath their crusts, oceans whisper. Beneath their oceans, life may breathe. And beneath it all, the same universal rhythm beats softly, the rhythm of creation itself. The moons that dream beneath ice remind us that life is not limited by light. It only needs time and the will to continue dreaming. Time, that invisible current, that silent companion of existence. It slips around us like water through our fingers, constant yet impossible to hold. It carries galaxies, atoms, memories and thoughts alike, moving with a rhythm so subtle that only stillness can reveal it. To most of us, time feels steady, a ticking clock, a sunrise, a heartbeat, but the universe tells a gentler, stranger story. Time does not move the same for everyone. It bends, flows, and stretches like a river shaped by gravity and motion. Einstein once told us that time is not separate from space. Together, they form the soft fabric that holds the cosmos. Imagine that fabric as a great cosmic ocean shimmering with unseen waves. Planets, stars, and people float upon it, each creating tiny ripples as they move. Where the ripples deepen, near the heart of massive stars or black holes, the current of time slows. Where the water is calm and open, far from mass and motion, it runs freely like a lazy tide at the edge of eternity. You have already felt this in a human way. When you are lost in joy, time seems to rush past you like a fast-flowing stream. When you are waiting or grieving, it thickens, moving sluggishly, reluctant to pass. Our minds, too, shape the flow of time, bending it inward the way gravity bends light. But in the language of physics, the flow is literal. If you stood near a massive planet or on the surface of a neutron star, your seconds would pass more slowly than those of someone drifting in empty space. To the person far away, your movements would appear drawn out, almost dreamlike. To you, everything would feel perfectly normal. But to them, you'd seem to move through honey. This is time dilation, the most poetic proof that time truly moves like water. Black holes are the deepest whirlpools in that sea. The gravity is so immense that time itself begins to sink. As you approach the event horizon, that invisible threshold where nothing can escape, the flow of time slows to almost nothing. A clock dropped toward a black hole would appear to freeze in place. Its final tick, its last glint of light, would hang forever on the edge of darkness. Yet to the clock itself, time would continue smoothly, as if the universe around it were the one that had stopped breathing. This paradox is the poetry of physics, that even stillness can be a kind of motion, and that motion can look like stillness depending on where you stand. The cosmos does not keep a single tempo. Each star, each planet, each consciousness moves to its own rhythm. The symphony of time is infinite in variation, slow near gravity's embrace, swift in the emptiness between galaxies, and still, everything remains connected by that flowing fabric, that space-time sea that never truly rests. The same current that bends starlight also carries your heartbeat. The same equations that describe the orbit of galaxies describe the moment a memory forms in your mind. Each event is a drop in the ocean, unique, fleeting, yet inseparable from the whole. If we could see time not as a line but as a vast ocean, we might understand ourselves differently. We might see every moment not as something that passes but as something that exists. In the physics of relativity, past and future do not disappear. They coexist in the fabric of space-time like layers of a cosmic painting. From a higher vantage, every moment is happening now: your first breath, your last, the birth of the stars, the cooling of the earth. They are all threads woven into the same eternal tapestry. It is a humbling thought that the present is not a moving point, but a perspective, a window through which we glimpse one part of the whole. To us, time feels like motion because we are inside it, swimming, but perhaps from the view of the universe itself, everything simply is. Nothing truly leaves, nothing truly arrives. All moments are equally real. We are merely travelers moving through their flow. Even the way light behaves carries this truth. When a photon leaves a distant star and journeys across billions of years to reach our eyes, it experiences no time at all. To that particle of light, the entire voyage from the heart of the star to your retina happens instantly. From its point of view, there is no before or after. Light exists outside the flow, illuminating all times at once. It reminds us that time is not a boundary, but a lens, one we can almost glimpse beyond when we look up at the night sky. because when you gaze into the stars, you are looking into the past, but not the past as memory. You are seeing real light, still arriving, still speaking. Some of the stars you see have already died, their light continuing long after their fire has gone out. The universe records everything in its own language, in photons, in gravity, in ripples of space-time, and plays it back for those willing to listen slowly enough. The beauty of this is that nothing is truly lost. Time, like water, can evaporate, condense, and fall again as rain. The moments that pass return in other forms, in new lives, new stars, new breaths. The atoms that once burned in ancient suns now drift through your lungs. The seconds that once flowed through another age now beat in your heart. We are not separate from time. We are part of its current, carried softly through the endless now. And so the universe continues to move, not in haste, but in rhythm. Stars age, galaxies drift, and black holes breathe in silence. To them, billions of years are nothing more than ripples. To us, a lifetime feels immense. Yet both are expressions of the same cosmic flow. Time moves like water. It shapes everything it touches, and in the end, it returns all things to stillness. If you close your eyes and listen carefully, you might sense it. That slow tide beneath all motion, the hush between heartbeats, the pause between thoughts. It is there that the current of the cosmos is most clear, not rushing forward, but gently circling, endlessly present. The river of time does not end. It only changes form, flowing quietly from the first moment to the last, carrying us all in its wake, back toward the stillness from which it began. Before planets turned, before oceans breathed, before minds could dream, there was only dust, silent, drifting, endless dust. It floated through the newborn universe like a whisper of possibility, glowing faintly in the afterlight of creation. Each grain carried the memory of stars that had once burned bright and died beautifully. They were ashes of brilliance, fragments of what had come before, waiting patiently to become something new. The universe is a recycler of wonder. When stars exhaust their fuel, they collapse or explode, scattering their essence through the cosmic sea. Carbon, iron, oxygen, the quiet architecture of life, are released into the dark. These elements travel for millions, sometimes billions of years, carried by the invisible wind of radiation and gravity. Over time, they gather again, pulled together by attraction, forming clouds so vast that they could cradle 1,000 suns. From that dust, stars are born again. From those stars, planets take shape. And from those planets, the faint shimmer of consciousness eventually rises to look back at it all in awe. We are, quite literally, made of stardust. Not metaphorically, not poetically, but scientifically. Every atom in your body was once inside a star. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, all forged in stellar furnaces. When those stars died, they returned their gift to the cosmos. You are the echo of their light, condensed into thought. Imagine one of those ancient stars, heavy, magnificent, burning its last reserves of fuel. Deep in its core, gravity crushes atoms together with unimaginable force, creating elements that have never existed before. For millions of years, the star resists the inevitable, its brightness a defiance of collapse. And then, in one final act of release, it explodes. A supernova, hurling its insides across the galaxy. That moment of death becomes the seed of creation. Somewhere in that storm of debris, the dust that would one day form oceans, mountains, forests, and you is scattered like golden ash. Over eons, that dust cools and clumps together. It gathers into spirals and tendrils, forming new stars encircled by disks of glowing particles. Within those swirling rings, collisions become creativity. Pebbles become boulders, boulders become worlds. The planets of our solar system, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, all began as collections of dust gently pulled together by gravity's soft insistence. Even now, in the dark cradles of distant nebulae, the same process continues. Creation never ended. It's simply, these cradles of dust are not just the beginning of physical worlds. They are the wombs of potential, where the ingredients of life rest in patient stillness, waiting to awaken. On Earth, the journey of cosmic dust continued in ways more intricate than even the stars could have imagined. When our planet cooled, minerals and gases formed oceans, and those oceans became mirrors for the sky. Within that water, chemistry began to dream. Simple molecules met by chance and merged by pattern. Out of stardust, the first living cell blinked open. A microscopic fragment of the universe suddenly aware of itself. From that single spark, all of life unfolded. Forests, coral reefs, mines, and stories. You, reading this now, are a continuation of that same slow miracle. The air filling your lungs contains atoms that once drifted in the rings of Saturn. The water in your veins once flowed through comets and ancient clouds. Even the thoughts forming in your mind are powered by energy that began as sunlight. Photons traveling across space to touch the Earth and ignite the brain's electric symphony. There is no separation between you and the stars. There never was. Dust might seem like nothing, the residue of what was, the remnants of decay. But in truth, it is the raw material of everything. In the grand cycle of the cosmos, dust is the in-between state, the silence between notes, the pause between breaths. It carries potential, memory, and infinite patience. The universe speaks through dust, using it to sculpt galaxies, shape worlds, and weave consciousness into matter. Even now, cosmic dust falls upon us constantly. Every day, the Earth collects around 100 tons of it. Microscopic particles drifting down from space, landing on mountaintops, oceans, and cities alike. You may have unknowingly inhaled the ashes of ancient stars, or walked through a field sprinkled with fragments of comets older than the planet itself. The stardust returns to its origin, through us. Think about that for a moment, how something so small can hold the story of the universe. Each particle of dust is a library of existence, written in the language of atoms. It remembers pressure, heat, and light. It has witnessed the birth and death of suns, the folding of galaxies, the formation of life. If you could listen closely enough, perhaps you would hear it hum, the faint echo of the first explosion, still resonating in every grain. And maybe that's the secret beauty of the universe, that from what seems insignificant, the infinite emerges. Dust, forgotten and weightless, becomes the foundation of everything sacred and alive. Without it, there would be no stars to warm the dark, no worlds to cradle oceans, no beings to ask why the night is so full of wonder. When we gaze into the Milky Way, we are seeing not just stars, but the shimmering remnants of all that has ever been, the dust of creation, glowing faintly with memory. Somewhere in that light is your origin story, written long before time began. You are a collection of borrowed atoms, arranged into meaning for a fleeting moment before they return to the whole. And one day, long after we are gone, that same dust will drift again as into new clouds, new stars, new lives. The universe will keep sculpting itself from its own ashes, never ending, never hurried. Perhaps that is its gentlest truth. Nothing is ever lost. Everything simply changes form, waiting quietly to shine again. In the end, the dust that built everything is the same dust that dreams through us, a cosmic memory carried forward in light, in thought, in every breath of being. Somewhere in the deep fabric of existence, the universe learned to look back at itself, not through mirrors or telescopes, but through eyes made of matter, through awareness formed from dust. It was not a sudden awakening, not a burst of enlightenment, but a slow unfurling, the cosmos gradually becoming conscious of its own reflection. When the first stars ignited, they could not know they were lighting the path to thought. When planets cooled and oceans formed, they did not suspect they were crafting the stage where perception would bloom. And yet, after billions of years, those same elements, hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, iron, came together to think, to dream, to wonder. The atoms that once burned in suns began to ask questions about themselves. The universe, in the quiet of its vastness, had grown a mind. It's strange to consider that everything you see, everything you feel, is the universe observing itself from the inside. The light entering your eyes tonight began its journey from distant stars. And within your brain, those photons spark patterns of recognition, memory, and emotion. The stars shine outward, and you shine back, completing a circuit of awareness that began at the dawn of time. When we say we are made of stardust, we often mean it scientifically, our atoms forged in stellar furnaces. But consciousness gives that fact poetry. For the universe to know that it is made of stars, the stars had to become self-aware. The cosmos became the witness of its own beauty. Every neuron firing in your mind is an echo of that cosmic self-reflection. The universe whispering, "I exist." If you think of all existence as one vast body, then consciousness is its eye. A galaxy may spin for billions of years without noticing itself, but through a human mind, a whale's song, or the watchful stare of an owl, the universe becomes aware of its own movement. It is as if reality, after so long in silence, finally opened its eyes and saw itself dreaming. Science has always sought to understand this mystery, how matter becomes mind, how the cold laws of physics give rise to warmth and thought. But perhaps it is not a leap from one to the other, but a continuum. In the hum of atoms there is rhythm. In the dance of particles there is pattern. The laws that govern galaxies also govern the neurons firing in our brains. Consciousness might not have emerged from the universe, but with it, a quality of existence itself, like light or gravity. Quantum mechanics hints at this intimacy between observation and reality. At the smallest scales, particles exist in many possible states at once, only choosing a definite form when observed. It is as though the act of looking, of awareness itself, helps bring the universe into being. Of course, this doesn't mean human thought creates galaxies, but it does suggest that consciousness is not separate from the cosmic order. It is woven into the equation, a mirror hidden within the mathematics of existence. Perhaps this is why we feel wonder when we gaze at the stars. It is not simply curiosity, it is recognition. Somewhere in the depth of our being we remember. The hydrogen in our veins once burned in stellar hearts. The calcium in our bones was born in ancient explosions. The same forces that shaped galaxies now shape thought. When we look up at the night sky, we are not outsiders peering into the unknown. We are the cosmos remembering itself. And in that memory, there is peace. Because if consciousness is the universe watching itself, then nothing is truly separate. Every being that has ever looked up at the stars, human, animal, or something yet to come, shares the same cosmic vision. The eyes that gazed upon the first sunrise, the eyes that will one day watch the last star fade, are part of the same awareness, flowing through time like a gentle current. To be alive, then, is to be a moment of cosmic reflection. You are not just a product of the universe. You are its continuation, its experiment in self-knowing. The thoughts that pass through your mind are not isolated events. They are ripples in the vast ocean of consciousness that began long before you and will continue long after. You are not the observer alone. You are also what is being observed. Think of the human brain, Billions of neurons firing, connected in endless networks. Each one is an electrical spark, a microscopic flash of light. When seen from above, those sparks resemble stars scattered across the night sky. The pattern of thought mirrors the structure of galaxies. The micro and the macro speak the same language, an architecture of light woven through scale. It's as though the cosmos built within us a miniature version of itself, so it could explore infinity through a smaller window, and perhaps that is why we seek meaning. The universe, having found eyes through which to see, cannot help but ask what it all means. Every question we pose, about time, about love, about death, is the cosmos thinking aloud, tracing the outlines of its own reflection. Even our dreams are part of that dialogue. When you close your eyes and drift into sleep, you return to the same quiet from which everything began. In your mind's dark theater, light flickers again, forming shapes, emotions, memories, a small echo of creation itself. In those moments between waking and dreaming, the boundary between self and universe grows thin. You can almost feel it, the hum beneath thought, the pulse that connects all things. The same energy that drives the expansion of the cosmos flows through your veins, whispering that you are not separate, that the observer and the observed are one. The universe is watching itself through you, through every pair of eyes that has ever existed. From the tiniest insect to the grandest mind, all are fragments of the same awareness gazing upon its own infinite reflection. Even the darkness plays its part, framing the light, giving it form and contrast. Consciousness, in the end, is the balance between being and knowing, the quiet gaze of existence turned inward upon its own mystery. So when you stand beneath the stars, remember this: you are not small, you are not apart. You are the mirror through which the cosmos sees its own beauty. Every breath you take is a continuation of that first exhalation, the quiet beginning of everything.